Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns 2, bringing you another Link's Awakening DX any percent no wrong warp out of bounds tournament match. It is winners bracket round 1, Mashy versus SeYsEy, and on commentary for you today we have Zintruthan and OOB. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
How's everyone today? We've got an early race. Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You want to talk about the category real quick?
Yeah, so this is any percent no wrong warp / out of bounds. And that basically means we are trying to beat the game as quickly as possible, but we have a couple of restrictions, and these restrictions are really important to have because if we allowed wrong warps, we could beat the game in potentially under 5 minutes if we get good luck. And with going out of bounds, then we can beat the game in like half an hour. So this is just kind of like to make the category a bit longer, just because it just makes it more interesting to play and more interesting to watch.
Yeah, you get to actually play the dungeons, right?
Yeah, and you're the inventor of basically what is out of bounds. So why don't you explain that?
Oh man, well, I mean that one's a fun one. So, a while ago, when super jumps kind of became a thing in LADX, so super jumps you'll see where Link can clip into certain tiles. The way that the game treats it is if it's a tile that Link can jump down off of, the game actually thinks that he could be above it. So you can use that in dungeons where they reuse the same tiles. You can use it to jump over gaps and stuff. So you'll see the runners do that a lot during the run. But the problem with that, again, with what is out of bounds, right? You can really break the game by the way that the tile set is laid out for the different dungeons and stuff. So we had to come up with some arbitrary rules to try and limit what people could do. So basically, in a normal playthrough of the game, you can walk on, certain tiles. The runners will be restricted to basically only a couple tiles over that limit. Not being able to transition rooms while on a tile that they couldn't normally step on. So it keeps it a little bit, it is a little confusing, but for the most part, it allows a couple super jumps. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, the tiles that we walk on, we're allowed to walk on, are called normally accessible tiles. So like the players, you're gonna only see the players on those tiles. If they went to a normally inaccessible tile, then they basically they get banned. So it's not a good thing to do. Your run would become invalid.
Mashy finally got his 10th rupee. I was gonna say, that's kind of one of the bummers of the way that the route works now is you kind of have some RNG at the beginning. You saw them trying to dupe the rupees at the beginning. They need 10 to be able to do what they need to do in the shop. So they'll get some bombs, they'll steal the shovel, they'll steal the bow.
We kind of sort of steal the bombs too, so when you buy an item, like you see on Mashy's screen here, what happened there? Okay, so Mashy is saving and quitting as he buys the bombs. And the reason for that is because he actually interrupts the rupees from counting down by saving and quitting. So you get the bombs, and then the shopkeeper takes your rupees. So if you actually interrupt the shopkeeper taking your rupees, you keep them. And that's really important because we don't want to have to farm 30 rupees. But we must have 10 for the trendy game. And we actually have to have the bombs in order to the rupees to even buy the bombs in the first place. But we just don't consume them. But yeah, we go to the trendy game, and that's where we use our rupees. And from here we don't need to collect any rupees for the rest of the run.
Yeah, it's really nice. You used to have to collect rupees for Frog's Song, but nowadays we skip that because I don't even think there's no ocarina anymore. So
no ocarina, and the reason for that is because of bomb triggers. So you just saw SeYsEy, I think, try to do a bomb trigger to skip the owl. But here he's going to do a bomb trigger because it's faster than using the powder on Terran. So a bomb trigger is like if you can get 2 bombs on the same screen within 4 frames of each other, are placed within 4 frames of each other, they both explode and they trigger any event on the screen. Which in the 100% category, for example, you actually use it to grab heart pieces from the other side of a screen. And stuff like that. In this case, we use it to trigger cutscenes. So we use that to trigger the Terran cutscene. So we just save a little time with that, but we're using powder. But in some cases, we use it to actually like skip getting Marin at the beach. We don't even need to get Marin to talk to the walrus because we use a bomb trigger to trigger the walrus cutscene.
Yeah, you wake him up with bombs instead of music.
Exactly. It's way more effective. I don't know why we didn't do it in the first place.
Yeah. So not much going on right now at the beginning of the run. D1 is actually fairly straightforward. There's a couple super jumps that we talked about. They'll be coming up to get the boss key to save a little bit of time. So Mashy's going to be entering D1 right now. SeYsEy's got a nice little lead. Again, that's the RNG coming into play with the rupees that you need for the shopkeeper at the beginning. We'll see if Mashy can kind of catch back up.
So SeYsEy's about to get the feather, and the feather is crucial for super jumps. You cannot do them without it. Except in one case, I think. No, yeah, you do need to have the feather. But yeah, basically, like as Seabass was saying at the beginning, like if you clip into a wall, you do kind of a few little inputs, and you're basically tricking the game into thinking that you're on these ledges. Also, all the dungeon tiles are ledges that you can actually jump off of, and so you kind of trick the game into thinking that you're on one. And a few inputs later, you can kind of get this extra jump. And you're also not supposed to have the bow by this point, but I mean, you could steal it. So if you have it, why not just use it to two-shot mini-bosses?
I mean, you could grind the rupees.
Which I think I did once. Tried to do that. It took me like half an hour. Just doing it through the grass.
Kid. Yeah. So that was a pretty quick kill on Moldorm.
Yeah, which he's a hard boss when you're trying to go fast, because if you screw up, you can get knocked into the pit, and then you have to restart the whole fight, and it's usually a reset at that point.
So it looks like SeYsEy had a pretty clean fight. We'll see Mashy coming up soon to that fight. Let's see if he goes for spins. I think it's more damage if you get a spin slash on Moldorm.
Yeah, but it is riskier because if Moldorm just charges at you, then you're almost likely to fall into the pit.
Yep. Yeah, and if you fall into that pit, like you said, you got to restart the fight.
Yeah, but personally, I prefer to take the chance because then I only have to do 2 other hits after, which to me is easier. So I find the spin slash method actually a little bit easier, but you do have to get some RNG.
Mashy having a little trouble. As you can see there, the hitbox for Moldorm is a little finicky at times with the way it clinks. Luckily, he didn't fall down the pits.
And it's not like a Link to the Past where you can just hold your sword out and you'll like stay on top of the boss. If the boss runs into your sword in this game, you get like clinked all the way back.
Nice damage boost by SeYsEy walking through the forest.
Yeah, there's all kinds of top players will find these minuscule little boosts here and there that really add up to saving even a few seconds, and a few seconds is big at the top level.
SeYsEy getting the sweet triple. So what SeYsEy is doing right now is he's gonna go grab one of our other buddies that we use to try and kind of break certain things in the game, Bow Wow. So Bow Wow is your buddy that you're supposed to rescue from the Moblin King here. And then you're supposed to return Bow Wow, but I don't think we do. We keep Bow Wow the whole time. Bow Wow can do really nice things like eat cutscene triggers and the flowers to get you into D2.
Yeah, overall, Bow Wow is an overall time save, except when he screws you over, which is the risk of having Bow Wow. However, it's still way slower to drop off Bow Wow, so we just keep him for the entire run. Yep. And we take the risk, because, yeah, you'll see after D5 we do a trick called Rooster Skip, where it uses the hookshot, and Bow Wow can block the hookshot. But you'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone.
you can clink your hook shot off of Bow Wow. Because the game doesn't really expect you to have the hook shot when you have Bow Wow. You're supposed to, again, return him right after D2.
Yeah. Although we see that like it's not truly required that you drop off Bow Wow to even progress. Except maybe, I wonder if you can actually advance the trading sequence if you have Bow Wow. I don't know. Anyway, D2 is pretty straightforward, except for the fact that we cut it in half. The reason for that is because later on in the run, on our way to the egg after D8, we happen to actually be going right by D2, but we also have better equipment. So it's just, it's just a little bit faster to do D2, finish D2 a little bit later on in the run. And you just saw Mashy do a flop clip. Text box do strange things with interactable objects, and you kind of, when the text box appears, you SeYsEy knocking the ghost.
Oh no!
Oh, this is bad. This is really bad for him. He's wasting a lot of arrows, so he's gonna have to try and save arrows later on in the run, or else he's gonna run out.
Yeah, you see Mashy doing it the older way, which is the way that I know, which is using sword here at the beginning instead of the arrows. I'm not sure how tight the arrow route is in the new run, but I know before it can get pretty tight.
SeYsEy may opt for going out of his way to catch some extra arrows in the Armos maze, which you'll see soon enough. Bow Wow eats Armos and he gets arrows that way.
You can make it without him, yeah. So yeah, once you get that bracelet in D2, we bail. Yeah, saving an arrow there. That's smart. The way the game handles bombs and arrows, I don't think it's actually a bug. I think it's actually intended. But if you hit the bomb and arrow button at the same time, if you have them both equipped, you will shoot a bomb arrow. And we see SeYsEy coming to Villa Skip, which is one of the older tricks, where you use the pit mechanics on a screen transition right there. You force Link down into the screen below, and it thinks that there's nowhere for him to go because you see those bushes, so it pushes him down, and it lets you skip a big,
huge portion of the game. That trading sequence that I mentioned earlier, we don't even look at that because of Villa Skip and because of Walrus Skip, like those two tricks alone skip the entire trading sequence. That and also knowing the base pattern for the egg. But
it's the same unless you look at it. I want to say if you look at it is when it changes.
I believe that's true. D3 is one of many dungeons that are broken by super jumps, as you'll see soon enough. But SeYsEy's also, he's trying to get as many kills as he can that's on the way. The reason for that is because it's the only dungeon that has enough enemies without saving and quitting to allow us to get the Piece of Power. Piece of Power requires 30 kills, and if you save and quit, that kill count resets. So this is the longest portion where we can kill enough enemies without saving and quitting, and we just kind of naturally get the Piece of Power. It's really helpful for a movement speed because you get a 25% increase, and it also makes the final boss of the dungeon much faster.
I believe it makes your sword equal to like the level 2 sword that you would get if you do all the seashells.
Yeah. SeYsEy's doing the shield bump method of getting up to that ledge there. So he just does a super jump and then he pulls out his shield and bumps off the Stolfos.
We see Mashy doing Villa Skip. Seems like he's getting stuck a little on it.
Yeah, Villa Skip is random. You can be buffering for like a minute straight.
There's an audio cue that Mashy's listening for. When you hear Link falling into the pit, that's when you know you got it. That is a lot of buffers. Oof.
Oh man.
Hey, finally gets it. Nice.
I've seen people who literally 2 minutes just save opening their start menu. It's very annoying sometimes, and it's usually a reset at that point. But thing about a race is you can't just reset because of bad RNG.
Yep. So good boss kill. Again, the Piece of Power helps you out with that kill, makes it pretty straightforward. SeYsEy with a pretty clean fight.
He's on a really good pace.
Yeah.
This is, like, even being in the green going into D1 is a good sign. If you can keep your pace going, then, yeah.
We see Mashy just coming into D3. We'll see where he gets that Piece of Power. The one thing he needs to avoid with Piece of Power is the Acorn. So that's another one of the drops. I don't remember how many kills it is, but it's if you
12.
get a certain number of kills without getting hit, I believe, an Acorn will drop, which is a defensive item that acts as the, I think it's the blue tunic. So you have your damage.
It's totally useless in terms of saving time.
I don't think
All it does is you get a text box, which loses you time, and you don't get Piece of Power, which further loses you time. However, if you do get the Acorn, you can just take 3 hits to get rid of it, and the kill count for the Piece of Power does not reset. So you can just you can keep going for Piece of Power after that. Although sometimes it just ends up being a time loss game.
Nice. Yeah,
So
so that
SeYsEy-
room that he got it is where you want to grab it.
Oh,
You
we
wanna
never
talk about
mentioned
Walrus
Dodongo
skip?
skip either. I want to mention Dodongo skip here. So Mashy's doing a super jump into this corner and then a spin slash, or trying to do a spin slash, off of the Dodongo to knock himself to the right. And it's kind of tricky to get. It's kind of one of those tricks that you just have to practice over and over until it's consistent. So he just needs to just get that super jump first.
It seems like it's the super jump part that's tripping him up.
Yeah, there we
we
go. But the problem with Dodongo skips, you have to do it twice. So SeYsEy just did Walrus skip. So he just does the bomb trigger to trigger the Walrus cutscene. However, because we have Bow Wow and not Marin, the cutscene doesn't really truly end because the game's trying to look for Marin to leave the screen. And so you lose all your buttons except movement. So you can still move around, but you can't slash your sword or even open your start menu until either you enter a cave or you die. And dying is much faster because you want to keep your save point of a cave that is just outside Animal Village.
Yeah, because you'll need that to go back up.
Yeah, just like that. Like that cave right there, you want to keep that save point because right after you get the Angler Key, you want to get back there as fast as possible. Or else you'd have to go all the way back through the desert and you have to talk to the owl, all that crap.
We see Mashy coming up to that boss. We'll see how he still has Piece of Power, so it should be a pretty straightforward boss. We see SeYsEy going into the Armos maze. Again, you see Bow Wow randomly eating some of the Armos that you can eat, which do drop arrows.
Alright, Mashy barely keeping the Piece of Power. Not the cleanest kill, but also still probably faster than if he didn't have Piece of Power.
So here's Armos Knight. We'll see SeYsEy probably do bootstrats.
Yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, he dropped it. So you can get stuck in the animation where Link is charging like that, right there.
Yeah.
Which is better for damage on the Armos Knight, but it's kind of tricky to line up just right. So you saw
It's basically like you
set.
perma-dash in place, and so you don't have to keep timing it over and over. You want to be dashing as you get stunned.
He's not picking
so
up any of
SeYsEy-
these arrows.
Yeah, not sure what he's... Oh, okay, there you go. He's making sure Bow Wow gets some kills there.
There's a nice one.
So-
low on health too. That's a little... You do not want to die in Armos Maze.
There, yeah. See, he kind of went out of his way a little bit to get some more arrows. So he should be good in arrows now. And yeah, this is kind of the more nerve-wracking part of the run, because you are usually low health, especially if you screw up the Armos Knight fight.
So these bomb fairies. Oof. He got pretty lucky with the way that they drop those bombs. They can be real meanies sometimes. So we'll see another thing of... Right
Two
there,
bomb drops? Damn. That's lucky as hell.
The drop that he did saves a little bit of time. It's another instance of kind of the Villa skip where you kind of drop into the screen below. We saw Bow Wow eating a cutscene there. lots of little things. That's what I love about this run, is there's lots of little things that are just all over the place. This category really showcases a lot of the stuff that this game has to offer.
Yeah, like even with our rule set, it's still broken.
Not broken enough, some people say, but...
there is a glitchless category.
So yeah, D6. We're going to be getting the level 2 bracelet. The boss for D6 is very easy. You just drop bombs, that's it. You can actually hit him before he spawns.
And the reason we're actually doing D6 before D4 is because of the level 2 bracelet. When you finish D4, a ghost appears. For anyone who knows this game, they know how annoying this ghost is. And you have to go finish the side quest before you continue into any dungeons, because the game will see that you have a follower, and it won't let you in and let the ghost. Because the ghost is like, no, I'm too scared to go in. And it's like, I just want that ghost gone. But as soon as you collect that level 2 bracelet, that ghost can no longer spawn.
I actually
SeYsEy has to be really... SeYsEy has to be really careful here.
I know the way that that it was done before is if you go below a certain height on the map, and you know your XY position on the global map would also trigger the ghost. So that was another way that we used to avoid the ghost, but I did not know the level 2 bracelet stopped that. That's kind of cool. Nice super jumps there by SeYsEy, pretty clean. Mashy doing pretty quick work of the Armos maze. We'll see how he handles the Armos Knight when he gets to it. Again, there's a couple different ways to do it.
This is the part where I'm like a lot more relieved whenever I'm playing, is because you can get a couple hearts here.
He's either in all
first try horse heads. This RNG, he is just getting like, this is a run.
I like Mashy's. I was gonna say I like the strats. He's gotta be careful. Oh,
yeah. Damn.
Armos Knight can that fight can go real south real quick if you try for the boot strats.
However, if you do die, it's not the biggest time loss. Fortunately, your save point is at the beginning of this area. All you have to do is just go up a room.
He's doing it the old school way, which is feather and spin slash. A little bit easier to pull off. You don't have to worry about the bonking. And this will keep him the 3 hearts that he has, so that he doesn't have to worry about being real low life, like SeYsEy was getting into D6. Nice clip there.
And as Corin says in chat, it's skill heads. It 100% is. It's the most skillful trick. You just throw the heads, and you know, if you're good, then you get first try.
So SeYsEy is good. We'll see if Mashy is good when he comes to horse heads. I loved the route when we didn't have to do horse heads. There was a time where we skipped those. But now they're back.
Must have been the day.
Great. It's great how they come back. They never will go away. Oh no, bomb
So yeah,
fairies.
more yeah. Some more Jesus jumps here from SeYsEy, just like that. Like you pause on the first try each time.
Those buffers were clean.
Yeah, seriously, that's really good. Yeah, if you pause on top of the water, then you can jump out of the start menu.
Yeah, the water, it almost acts like a pit in the way that the game works before you have the flippers. So that's why you saw Mashy actually just doing it there to drop down kind of a screen below, similar to Villa Skip. And you see the Jesus jumps where you can kind of stand on the pits and then jump if you get the right frame.
SeYsEy just golded D6.
Yeah, that was clean. I mean, first try horse heads is gonna help that. I bet. I don't know what his PB had.
You basically have to get first try to get a golden D6. I'm sure his PB is. Actually, no. I think his PB wasn't first try, but like the rest of the run was so clean. So we're going up into this cave just to set the save point, because we still need to open D4. But when you set the save point, all you have to do is just save and quit back to the cave.
Oh, Mashy, please. Okay, yeah, I want to say there's a fairy.
There's a fairy in there, yeah. Although, hopefully, okay, good. The fairy was cooperative. Sometimes the fairy just goes to the top of the screen and doesn't come down.
Good knowledge from Mashy, knowing those backup strats. You know, knowing where the fairy is, not panicking. Cool, calm, and collected with half a heart. So again, we see the way that SeYsEy actually moved around the overworld there is nice. Similar to kind of how we do Walrus Skip, you want to save your position from where you actually entered a cave. So it actually saves a lot of movement going back to be able to get back to D4 quicker.
Obstacle skip. That saves a quarter of a second.
There's the guy, hide the guy, buy the guy.
And down D4, the shortest dungeon in the run. So, yeah. SeYsEy just, like, saved 10 seconds because of those Jesus jumps. But here, D4 is, funny enough, not really that glitch heavy. There's a Jesus jump and a super jump to get the Nightmare Key. But otherwise, well, there's this method here. You used to do as a bomb arrow, but if you can get first or second try in that Jesus jump, it's a little bit faster to do that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I recently saw that, and that blew my mind. Again, I'm pretty old school in this game, and I can't remember who it was I was watching, and I was like blown away just by like.
I learned it from TGH. There you go, first try Jesus jump there. So just like that, and yeah, you also saw SeYsEy jump over a pit that like doesn't really look like you can jump over it, but there's a few of those.
Skill from Mashy with the first try. Easy game is easy. Getting the
double firsties.
Oh no, trying for the flock clip. Nope.
Alright, so SeYsEy is coming up on the Nightmare Key jump. There's two methods of doing this. He's going to be doing the harder method, which saves 2 equips, so 4 seconds. And not getting it.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, he didn't even get the jump. Yeah. And you kind of have to be like in a proper position too. There we go. Yeah, so just like that, he does a super jump, clinks off the Piat, much like the Dongo skip, and then does another super jump and clinks off the Piat downward.
Mashy handling the D6 boss pretty quick. That's one of those bosses that's in the Oracle games. I know Mashy would probably consider himself an Oracle runner over a LADX runner, so it's nice to see a familiar face, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
D4 boss is easy. Couple bombs. It's done.
Yeah, we basically just like
bosses are so easy in this game.
They really are, except Boulder. Genie is kind of annoying in 100%, but really easy in this category because we have the magic rod button. What on earth did SeYsEy? Oh, right, because he failed the super jump. I was like, what did he lose time on?
Yeah. So when is Rooster Skip now? I don't actually know in the route where it comes.
It comes right after D5. So we're on our way to D5 now, and this is just going straight in, no glitches, it's just pure movement on our way to D5. So it's a really hard split to gold, but SeYsEy could do it, because SeYsEy's movement is phenomenal.
Mashy getting those Jesus jumps. Again, you have to do a couple in a row. It is a little easier to do with the buffers just to play it safe, because if you do fall on any of them, you have to restart the sequence again. So sometimes it's a little bit faster to go a little bit slower.
Well, I mean, you have the buffer Jesus jumps anyway.
Nice. See SeYsEy coming into D5.
Saving a second over PB.
So D5 used to be one of the longer dungeons. I don't think it's super long anymore. I don't think any of the dungeons are that long. I know D7 used to be super long, and now it's trivial.
Yeah, you'll see why D7's trivial pretty soon, too. D5 I think is actually still the longest, just because you have to do Master Sulfos. Unfortunately, we cannot do what is called early hookshot like we can in 100%, because we need the boomerang for that, and to get the boomerang we need to get the lens, and all of that. Doing all of that is just such a time loss.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
much
end of
faster
the
just to
trading
go through the dungeon.
sequence.
Yeah, and then yeah, we have to do all the trading sequence stuff as well to get to that, and it's yeah. So we just deal with Master Sulfos and a long dungeon.
Yeah, so I know from the start Mashy was behind because of the RNG. I know he's definitely had it rough with a couple of the super jump, Jesus jump type stuff. Again, SeYsEy's movement has been on top all game, so it's going to be tough for Mashy to catch up if he's going to. Rest of D5, fairly straightforward. Again, just finishing up Master Stalfos to get the hook shot. And then it'll be going over to the boss. Probably my favorite boss in the game, I think.
I'm not sure what my favorite boss is. I don't know if I have one.
Probably that or Hothead. Hothead's pretty solid.
Hothead is... yeah, can be fun. Can be.
Nice little Jesus jumps.
I think the Eagle is probably the
jumps.
funniest.
Oh, the Eagle's the worst. Eagle's D7 boss. Nice little boost.
But in this category, we get a really funny way of killing him.
Let's see.
Clean dumb jump there, yeah. So that's like was it 4 or 5 tiles or something that he just jumped over?
Yeah, I think it's a 4-tile pit. The game intends with Boots and Feather that you should only be able to jump over 3. But if you go in between 2 of the tiles, like there's a little bit of wiggle room where you can squeeze out an extra jump tile. So the game normally intends you to have the hook shot there where you pull the bridge across. But again, we don't have the hook shot at that point because you don't get it until right here. And you have to be careful with this hook shot. If you get the hook shot and you leave the room before you get the hook shot, you have to do that fight over again. Which sometimes, again, with this being a save and quit category, if you save and quit, you lose a bunch of time because you got to go all the way back there. Mashy's struggling with this boots jump here. There we go.
Oh man, if I was SeYsEy, I would get the oh man. Okay, so SeYsEy has to be really careful here because the boss can now one-shot him. And that would mean he has to go travel his whole path from the beginning of the dungeon back to the boss if he dies. Fortunately, he's far enough ahead that it wouldn't be too big of a deal.
Jumping on the Goombas gives you a heart if you squash them. Shoutouts to Mario.
Yeah, you may see a lot of Mario references in this game, and that's because... actually, you know what? I'm not 100% sure why exactly. But there was something about, like, Nintendo people wanting to make a Mario game or something, and it turned into a Zelda game. So there's lots of, like, other Nintendo references. There's actually a Kirby in D7 as well. And it will literally suck you, and, like, you get eaten by it.
Yeah. I want to say the picture, there's a part of the trading sequence, there's a picture, I believe that's of Peach. And I mean, you have
That's right,
Bow Wow.
yeah. Yeah, it's a picture of Peach, yeah, and there's Bow Wow. Chain jump. So it's there's lots of little Easter eggs like that in this game. That's one of the reasons why it's so fun.
Yeah. Finishing up D4 is Mashy. And we've got SeYsEy finishing up D5, so now he's going to be heading to Rooster Skip, I believe, and then to D7. Yep. Do you want to explain Rooster Skip?
Yeah. So Rooster Skip needs the hookshot and the feather. And normally you're supposed to get like the Frog Song of Souls, and then go wake up the rooster in Mabe Village, then bring that rooster all the way over to this big pit. However, there are 2 ways that you can actually get over that pit without. One involves the shovel and the boots, and the other involves just a big pit jump first, and then using the hookshot and the feather to do hookshot jumps. And hookshot jumps are a frame-perfect trick where you jump, basically you jump off the hookshot on the very final frame that the hookshot retracts back the hook. So, yeah, you have a 60th of a second, and there is a way you can buffer it, which I suspect we'll see Mashy do, but SeYsEy tries to do it unbuffered. So we're going to be seeing him basically doing a 60th of a second trick twice in a row. So we have to do it twice. That's one of the reasons why it's so hard, is because you don't just do it once and then you're done. You have to do it twice in a row. And this is where... This is... Yeah, obstacle skip. This is where Bow Wow could really screw your run. Yep. Because you can only spam the hookshot so fast. And Bow Wow can just get in the way of the hookshot and basically force you to fall. SeYsEy is also going to save and quit at the beginning of the dungeon, and that sets up for the eagle quick kill. And it also acts as a safety in case you fall, so you just go back to the beginning of the cave instead of outside the cave and having to go all the way around. So, see if he gets it. There's one, and...
Nope.
Oh, he fell!
He fell.
So he got one, but the second one he was just a bit far into the center of the pit, and so he ended up falling. Once you get too far toward the center of the pit, it's usually better to just do a buffered one, because it's much faster than failing. 1, and... Come on, 2, there it is. Go.
That was a pretty clean one the second time around.
Yeah, it's not unusual to have to get a few tries before you actually get the jump. But you do have a few tries, because as long as you're on the edge of the pit, you're not going to immediately fall in. So you can just keep spamming your hookshot until you finally get it. But once you're in the middle of the pit, you can only go so far, and at that point you just buffer it and get a guaranteed one from there.
Yeah, the pits work the same as they would in like an overworld, where it kind of sucks Link into the middle of the tile. So you have a little bit of time where you're kind of on that edge of the tile before you kind of actually do the fall. So we'll see D7 from SeYsEy. D7, again, used to be one of the longer dungeons with the kind of bomb trigger renaissance that happened in this game. Bomb triggers just completely wrecked D7. There's a big heavy ball that you would have to carry around the dungeon, and you would have to throw it at these 4 pillars, which would...
And another instance of Bow Wow eating a cutscene, and this time the cutscene even dropping a heart.
Nice.
Yes, cutscenes have life. They're living beings.
Oh, I'm trying to remember, do cutscenes count towards Piece of Power? I think they do.
Don't know. Does someone in chat confirm that? I'd like to know too.
There's Kirby. Bye, Kirby. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought they did, because if you can drop an item.
Yeah, it'd make sense. Oh, so there you go. There's one. And you have to do these bomb triggers in a certain order as well.
You can get Piece of Power from a cutscene. I bet. Yeah. Corin saying I'm right there. You can get Piece of Power from the cutscene.
And just like that, all 4 pillars are down.
Mashy having a little trouble. Again, it seems like the boots movement, Mashy is having a little bit of trouble. He had the struggle in D4 earlier.
Yeah. The timing of when to jump at the earliest possible time after getting your boots dash takes quite a bit of practice. But once you get the hang of it, it's quite a boon to have.
So here comes another one of the big RNGs. This is Goomba Surf.
Yeah, Goomba Surf, there's another way of getting around, but Goomba Surf is generally faster. unless you get screwed. Because that Goomba has a 1 in 4 chance of moving to the right each time. And just like that. So he does a naked super jump, meaning that he's just already facing away from the wall when he starts the jump. And he doesn't use a weapon to make him point away from the wall, which is required for a super jump. So yeah, he's just 1 pixel on the wall, and that gets him just far enough to get on the ledge after bouncing off the Goomba. So here's the Eagle quick kill. So because he saved a quit in Rooster Skip Cave, he can now shoot his hookshot through the ground, and it wraps around over the top and hits the Eagle. And now it's dead. And to me, that is just the funniest thing. Our Mashy really needs to be careful now and at the boss. So once again, if he dies, he goes back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Nice hookshot clip, though. Oh, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna do it. Yes! Again, if you jump on Goombas, you get those hearts. Nice safety strats by Mashy.
Yeah.
Knowing the backups sometimes, again, in PB runs, not gonna really matter, but in a race setting, it's really crucial to know some of those little nuances of the game. SeYsEy is gonna now head to D8, I believe.
He opened his save and quit menu there just to regain movement. When you start falling, you can't move your character unless you open that menu. So, and if he fell down that pit, he sets a save point into that cave, and he has to go like all the way around past D4, all that stuff. He can't just save and quit back to the beginning of D7. It's like the most nerve-wracking part for me in any run. After getting all the good RNG and stuff, is just falling into that pit, which has happened before.
Nice boots jump there. The game expects you to kind of use the hookshot to save Marin there, but you can actually just use the boots to kind of just jump over that pit and leave her stranded.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think SeYsEy actually fell on Rooster Skip in his PB.
Yeah, well, he had that reset, so... Wow, you see, Bow Wow just... The way Bow Wow works with Moldworms on the screen, it does not like the different tiles being used. See Flame Skip here. You clip into that wall, and you can actually damage boost through the fire instead of needing the level 2 shield.
Funny thing about the level 2 shield is we have to get it in 100%, but we never use it.
Yeah, because it's still faster to do the clip, I believe.
Yeah, it's much faster to do the clip.
So we see
Because
another
that clip
instance
literally
of bomb
boosts
triggers.
Yep, no need for hooks or ocarina. And you also just can walk through the head until the neck is fully retracted, or extended. Now we're D8, just like that.
SeYsEy with the
dash
clean
jumps.
movement, man.
So he's going to be doing a thing called Bookshot, where he has Hookshot on B and Feather on A. And the way the priority in this game works is I believe the B button, if you press both buttons at the same time, B is prioritized, so it allows you to fire the Hookshot and the Feather at precisely the same time. And that gives you this really fast Hookshot, and it gives you enough speed to clip through that key block without needing the key. And doing Blano because we cannot do Blano Skip, which involves going on those tiles right in the bottom middle of the screen. Because that is out of bounds. That is not a normally accessible tile.
Someone in the chat asking if you actually use the shield. I think Glyph pointed out you use the D3 bump to get the key, you use the shield. Trying to think, I don't even think there's that many places. Trying to think, like, if in Hundo you would use it. Yeah, you would use it in Hundo for Zora bump.
The shield bumps?
Yeah. Don't you use the shield there to, or is it just sword?
Yeah, you use the shield for...
To get the early,
Well, there's one that I think you use
one
the
setup
sword
where you
for.
probably don't need it. I'm not as familiar with Hundo.
But yeah, we in no categories do we use the level 2 shield for anything. Like, the only reason it even really truly exists in the base game is because you need it for flame skip if you're playing casually without glitches. Alright, so Mashy's doing the buffered rooster skip, and yeah, has to do it again. So he's trying to get the hook shot, the very edge of the hook shot, touching the tip of Link's nose. And then he does a map buffer, so that's a good setup. So he does a map buffer here, and then just holds jump out of that, and just like that.
Yeah, so a regular start buffer is 1 frame advance, and a map buffer is 4. So that timing was actually used to do Death'll Skip back in the day. I don't think we do Death'll Skip anymore.
Nice 1 cycle. Yeah, if you have the ocarina, you can do a Death'll Skip. Which you can kind of explain, I guess, at the end of the run.
Yeah, we'll explain it when SeYsEy gets there. The Wang boys.
Gotta have the Wang.
Really clean D8 for SeYsEy there. Good hothead, good book shot. Is he going to be on PB pace after this?
No, unfortunately. It was just a bit slower than his PB. His end game in his PB was really, really good.
Now we do
like,
the
you
last
kind of see
dungeon.
he has a lot of time saved at the beginning and middle, and then like kind of toward the end, there's barely any at all.
Yeah, his RNG at the beginning for the ruby drops was pretty good. And with the fire rod, the D2 boss is actually very easy. So,
as is the room where you get the nightmare key. You have like bomb arrows and stuff like that at that point, and the hook shot and all kinds of stuff. So there's a bunch of ways that you can actually finish this room here. Whoa! Okay, that was strange. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't hit, you know. So he's got 18 arrows. He needs to make sure that he has at least 16 for the final boss. And he just walked right through the enemy without getting hit because of hookshot invulnerability. If you hookshot while you're pressed up against something, then you just become invulnerable.
I actually have not seen the new D2. This is my first time seeing new D2 with the game works now. I love those little bonk jumps there on the underground section. That's super clean.
This boss is really hilarious. If you're clipped into this wall and you're facing left, the pot just breaks on the first throw.
That one's still fun with the bomb arrows. I enjoy, actually. That one can be real close with the old way. You would use bombs and bomb arrows. You would drop a bomb and time it so that he would fly into it. But normally you're pretty low on HP because it's at the beginning of the run. Now, luckily, it's towards the end where we have a ton of hearts. And you kind of have no real fear at that point. See if Mashy goes for Goomba Surf.
Mashy is going to be doing the alternative, which is the P-Hat Clink. Yet another P-Hat Clink. So he's going to do a super jump off this wall, and then a slash to the right, and wow, that was a snipe right there.
At Bimos. So he'll have to jump onto those orange tiles, and then you can just do the diagonal jump there, and then hookshot across. See, another bomb trigger, man. Bomb triggers, that's what really kind of broke the game open. Like, super jumps were pretty good and saved some time. Bomb triggers really break the game a bit. You don't need the ocarina, and that just kind of saves a ton of time.
Unfortunately, we still have to listen to the national anthem.
Best song in the game.
That's debatable for me.
Frog song?
Oh yeah, frog song all the way.
So we'll see
Call me
SeYsEy going
crazy.
into the egg here. The pattern is the same every time.
Yep. Left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up.
Yep. Get it tattooed. Never forget it. I know a couple people. I definitely do it. I leave my last split as the directions just in case I forget it.
Alright, so this is the nightmare fight. SeYsEy now has no bombs, but he's going to be doing a slash. He's trying to get a high sound in the slash. And he gets it, okay. So normally you need to drop a bomb there if you don't get a certain slash sound that you're looking for. But he is out of bombs. The reason he's out of bombs is because he's doing a bomb trigger again. They
It's
just
the
don't
cutscene
stop.
at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, you skip a cutscene and text, and you also stop the music, and the music is crucial for Aghanim manipulation. So this is Aghanim here, and he's going to position himself very specific a distance away from the wall in order to force Aghanim to always give him reflectable energy balls. And it didn't work somehow. I think maybe something about the block quick kill screwed up. It's very finicky, like the smallest little things just screwed up. Fortunately, he only got one blue ball, so he didn't lose too much time. I think it's like 8 seconds per. You can stun lock this if you time your spin slash at the start, right? But he's gonna use boot strats to get do double damage with each hit. And then you just dash into Ganon a bunch of times, and then you kill the Shadow Land Mola, if there is such a thing as a Land Mola, because we never saw one. And then Death Eye. Death Eye, you just shoot him in the eye with 16 arrows. Or a bomb. You can actually bomb the eye as well, but you only really do that if you're run out of arrows or you want to meme. Now, there is a way of actually skipping Death Eye, as was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, so the bats that Ganon shoots at you can be frozen in place if you play the ocarina on the exact frame, like 1/60th of a second, on the exact frame that a bat is released towards you. Death Eye being quite nice to SeYsEy there. Yeah, so on the exact frame that the bat is released, the bat will actually freeze in place. And when you get to the Death Eye phase of the game, of the fight, while the bat is frozen, the bat, for some reason, turns into Death Eye. However, the bat also has no health, and it just instantly dies, and it makes the game think that you killed Death Eye, and it'll spawn the staircase. And GG from SeYsEy with a time of 51:30. Very respectable, especially for a race.
Yep.
Hello! GG!
We'll see if we can get SeYsEy's comms.
Yeah, he's in the channel. I don't know if he can hear us or if we can hear him.
Hello, hello.
Hey, there.
Hey.
Congrats, GG.
Thank you, thank you.
Good run. That was a really solid run all the way through for the most part.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the ending had a few moments, and the falling in rooster skip, but it happens.
Yeah,
you got a golden D6.
Yeah, thanks to first trial sets. But yeah, I'm overall disappointed about my run. Yeah, I had some good parts like D3, D6, and D5, I would say, but pretty much all the rest was pretty bad, in my opinion. But
some of the overworld movement was real smooth. Like some of your Jesus jumps were like on point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus jumps were like wow.
Yeah, well, I was really close to gold in 34 too. Yeah, only 2 extra buffers. That's really good. But yeah, that's mostly in dungeons. That was pretty bad. Like D2 for example.
Oh yeah, with the ghost.
The ghost. Yeah, yep. I don't. It was a long time. It didn't happen to me, but happened this time.
When it does though, right? Like, how do you back it up so quickly?
Yeah, but I wasted a lot of arrows. That cost me some times too.
Yeah, because then you have to get
recovered
like
them in
some
Armos.
extra in Armos Maze.
Yeah.
See Mashy finishing cue ball.
Yeah, and this leads to the Roomba Room, or Roomba Surf, as Happy with Sugar calls it. I really like that name. I'm going to be calling it that from now on.
Everybody does this
You
one
got
differently. I love
Goomba
it.
Surf and Roomba Surf. Yeah, so there's a few ways of doing it. Like you can actually move while jumping, while moving their Roomba, and so people kind of have different patterns on how they move the Roomba, but also how they move Link at the same time. And there's no real right or wrong way of doing it, as long as you can get to the chest. Yeah, as long as you can get near the chest by the time the Roomba is finished, you basically are doing it right. Prince the floor. That makes sense.
Yeah, so we see Mashy using, again, the way that the pits and the water and everything works. He uses the falling into the lava to kind of, similar to like a Villa skip, it pushes you down. So he uses it to get a clip into that bottom wall, which he can then use to do a super jump over the fence there.
Yeah, the interesting thing about jumping on water or lava is every time you see a splash below Link, every time you press start, Link moves down a pixel. And in some cases, like after D6, you actually have to kind of be careful with that, because you can you can actually go out of bounds by mistake by moving Link down into a wall and then transitioning on that solid tile, which is out of bounds.
So
now I gotta go finish D2.
SeYsEy, good race. It's
Yeah, thank you.
Is it double elim, right? I believe.
Double
like-
elimination.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the tournament structure?
Yeah, it's double elimination. Yeah.
So where can people go to check out the bracket? We're in the bracket stage now, I believe. There you go.
Yeah, we on our tournament page, I think, has some details on that. So there, the CSR bot is linking the tournament bracket for anyone to check out and see like who's fighting who. Before this, we had the seeding phase, which is basically like just people would set up races against each other, and we have like these large-scale races, and your best time from all of the seeding races determines basically who you're fighting in the bracket stage. And basically what happens is like first place fights last place, and second place fights second last place, and keep going into the middle. So basically right in the middle is going to be the closest of the bracket fights at the start. But after that, it's based on like who wins from the double elimination round.
Yeah. So looking ahead, SeYsEy, you'll get either Phantom Matt or Dragon. Which one of those do you want to face in the next round if you had your pick?
I don't know.
Both
I think
good runners.
Yeah, both are good runners, and I like them both. So I don't know. It will be a good match no matter what. But yeah, just wishing good luck to both of them.
Kind of want to see him fight Dragon.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Dragon is unpredictable. You don't know what he will do during a race. He can do a 1 hour or 54 minutes, so that can be scary. But yeah, definitely interesting.
And then Mashy will be going up against the loser of that match, Dragon versus Phantom Matt. So that'll be a good one to watch. We see Mashy coming up. He's going to get the bomb trigger to open up the egg.
I think Dragon versus Matt is pretty soon, right? Is it today?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a restream, so we'll be
Okay.
watching it, or hopefully restreaming it on our own channel. We have an LADX channel just for whenever ZSR can't restream, we'll restream it on there, assuming we get someone to do that. Hopefully, usually there's someone who can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, some of us, like myself, I did not have time to learn the category, but I knew that I could help out on comms every now and then, so it's good to still get involved. If you want to get involved, definitely check it out. Again, there is a lot of tricks, but the community is a great one. There's a lot of people in the community that love to help new runners. If you want to figure out how to do a certain trick, you know, everybody's pretty friendly, so just pop into streams, ask people. That's probably the best way to do it. I know that's how I learned way back in the day.
Yeah, if we could get somebody to link the all of our channels, then if anyone sees one of us go live, then yeah, seriously, pop in, ask questions, say hi. We're all friendly. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good run. It's one of those games where, again, the categories are actually pretty different. If you want to play the game really, really fast, you can beat it in under 5. If you want to play it, you know, if you want to actually get to see the dungeons, you can do this one. If you don't like using save and quit, you can do that too. That's fine if you don't want to cheat.
Yeah, my favorite category is the 100% no wrong word or out of bounds. Just because I'm kind of a completionist, but at the same time, like, I really like how like there's so much emphasis on movement.
Yep.
But yeah, last year our tournament was 100% no wrong word and out of bounds, which SeYsEy actually won.
Yep.
Nice.
So we'll see. I'm hoping. I root for SeYsEy in this tournament as well.
Oh, let's go.
My prediction has you winning. It says the French shall reign.
I also cheer for myself.
Yeah, we got fished upon. So like, if you don't want to play like one of the quote unquote serious categories, we have lots of meme categories, like silly categories. We also have some non-main categories. Like one of those like reverse dungeon order. You just do the dungeons in reverse order. There's also like just getting all the instruments, and like your run is done after that. But you can use all kinds of glitches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Zintro, what do you think about No Stew?
No Stew? Oh god.
Isn't it the best category?
That category can rot.
Which one?
No Stew. No. So that's no system transitions or wrong warps. So system transition is like when you... So there's kind of like different... So it's like an overworld system and an underworld system. And you can't go outside those systems. But you can do a trick called super swimming, which you don't see in this because it's out of bounds. It's sort of like you do a super jump in the water while you're swimming, and it allows you to swim on land and go through walls and stuff like that. So in those categories where that allow you to go out of bounds, you can do that.
So it looks like Mashy's probably going to get a PB here.
I think that's the red. Or is that time save?
Yeah.
Oh, right, because it's plus if it's behind.
So yeah, those are gold. That's a lot of gold splits for Mashy.
Yeah, right.
That's a good 2-minute plus PB. That's a solid PB in a race.
Yeah, really.
Race PB is always a good PB.
Yeah, GG Mashy.
GG's to Mashy.
Yeah, it's basically No Stew is like, it just has some really annoying tricks. Tricks that after a while I got really sick of them, so I don't like the category.
Yeah, there are a lot of hard tricks, and that's basically a reset if you fail it. Or
yeah, exactly.
Or you lose a lot of time. But
like in No OOB, if you fail a trick, it's not like a run end or usually.
Yeah.
But in Nosu, like, if you fail a trick, you resetting, and, like, I hate resetting.
But I find it kind of fun still. But yeah,
It's
it
fun
is
to
hard.
watch. It's really fun to watch.
It is fun to play too. But yeah, this is
Yeah,
not
up to
a
a point.
beginner-friendly category. Definitely not.
Yeah,
But
if you do wanna, if anybody is ever interested in trying out this game, I do recommend trying out the no wrong warp or out of bounds category first, just because
Yeah.
they're safer, they're easier, but you still get to play the whole game.
Yeah, Hundo is okay, but there's still some tricks in Hundo that are a little tricky. You've got the Zora bump and stuff that,
Like,
I know for me was a little tricky learning.
Yeah.
the category we're playing in this tournament is probably the best category to start with, in my opinion, because it teaches you the game, but it's also not excruciatingly difficult like a few other categories are. Hundo is not excruciatingly difficult either. Actually, in some ways, I actually consider it easier, just because you have more hearts and items. But it's also quite a bit longer. It's like, I think the world record's 1 hour and 16 minutes. Whereas the world record of this is 48 minutes.
Still looking at that, like, I know back in my day, as to say it that way, I know the no squoob run, like getting a 110 was like crazy. You know,
Yeah.
now getting, you know, a hundo at like a 116 under a 120 is like insane to think about.
And we're joined by Mashy. GG.
Hey, Mashy, GG.
Hey,
GG.
GG. Thanks.
So that's a PB, right?
That is, yes.
Nice stuff.
Congrats.
Huge
Thanks.
PB too. 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Aside from Villa Skip, we're not going to talk about Villa Skip.
We already talked about it earlier.
Okay.
You had Bithlean buffered. Anyway,
Lots of golds though.
yeah,
Yeah.
really, I was looking at it, I was like, holy mackerel, that is 4 golds in a row. Almost
I
5,
haven't
just
played
separated
a
by...
lot of the late game a lot, so gold are still going to be pretty easy to come by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was claiming that you would probably call yourself more of an Oracles runner than a LADX runner.
Yeah, probably.
Those ones are pretty fun too. I know those have gotten a lot better over time. I mean, you can't do the jump slash, but you can jump upstairs, which, hey, if you want to do that, check out the Oracle games, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages. I know that those communities are pretty big too.
Yeah, those games are a lot of fun, and they got a lot of new stuff just this year, pretty much.
Yeah, like both the games have had very significant changes.
Well, awesome. So
Yeah, one of the
Mashy,
fun
were-
stuff about speedrunning is like how it keeps evolving.
Yeah, I know. Like I was, again, watching this run. There's stuff that I'm going like, man, that's cool. I didn't even think about that. You know, back from the older ways of playing it. Looking real quick at the tournament. Again, SeYsEy next up is going to be either against Dragon or Phantom Matt. And Mashy, you'll get the loser of that match in the losers bracket down. But so Mashy, is there one of those two that you would prefer to face in the next round, Dragon or Matt?
Probably Dragon, because he'll do some like swag stuff and probably fail.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Matt play recently, have you?
No, I haven't.
I'll just leave it at that and let Matt be mad at me.
Yep. Well, awesome. Thanks for letting me commentate, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for the run, Mashy, SeYsEy. That was a good run from both players. Definitely a fun one to commentate. Always fun to join.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah,
everybody
it was
watching.
a lot of fun
I
to
don't
watch.
know. I don't know what else we need to do. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, I
my
think
cue
that's
to
it.
take over then. So yeah, GG's to both runners, SeYsEy and Mashy. Thank you to our commentators, Zintrudan and OOB. Make sure to give them a follow. we're going to be raiding over to ZSR 4, which has where the Majora's Mask Season 2 tournament qualifier started like 10 minutes ago. Coming up on ZSR later though, at 1 PM Eastern we will see Mashy again on ZSR 3, playing TMCR against Huffpuff. At the same time on ZSR 2 will be a Zelda 2 Horsehead % one-day knockout style tournament. I have no idea what that means, I just read it off the schedule. And then later at 3 PM Eastern is a Link to the Past randomizer cross keys match, and at 6 PM Eastern we have the OT randomizer weekly, and then maybe we have some Zelda 2 tournament matches later, and a Wind Waker randomizer tournament match, as well as the Breath of the Wild 20% bi-weekly race at 9 PM Eastern.
So much.
So
much
yeah,
Zelda.
lots of stuff going on, which is why unfortunately we won't be able to restream the next match of this tournament on ZeldaSpeedRuns, but as you mentioned, it might get possibly get restreamed on LIDX speedruns instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the ZSR stuff, keep an eye on our schedule. For the LIDX stuff, I'm sure you will find that info in their Discord. And with that, unless you have any final comments, thank you for watching, everyone.
Nothing here. Thank you, everyone.
And have a nice day.